Hey, so welcome back to my channel. It's going to be a recap of Greenleaf Season 3, Episode 8, the Abscondita. I think that's how you pronounce it. So it had a whole scene at the gates of the Greenleaf estate, okay? So Zora dragging her little suitcase down the walkway and May following her in the car. And they're going to have this whole little back and forth. She's trying to get security. Zora trying to get security to open the gate. May is don't open the gate. She's trying to talk some sense into this child. And just at the same time, Kerissa and Jacob pulls up, and now Zora's like, oh, God, okay. So now May tells security to open the gate. So they come in, and they're like, well, we came to take you home, and May's like, well, I wish you would have called me to let me know. And Jacob was like, well, Mom, we just only agreed to this last night. And Kerissa's like, hey, what are you gonna do? Have you just how are you gonna take care of yourself? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, girl, you just lived this privileged lifestyle. Now you're gonna go do what exactly? I mean, they already found you in some roach motel. So I'm just still confused at what Zora thinks what's gonna happen. And still trying to talk some sense into her. The little asshole gets out his truck and has the camera on Jacob and was talking all the shit he could talk with his cell phone recording. So I guess, he wanted to have evidence just in case Jacob knocked the shit out of him again. Part of people saying, God, Jacob, just hit him, Lord, just hit him. And another part of me was like, no, because then you'd be throwing your whole life away on this piece of shit. And at the end of the day, it's not gonna change in the way Zora feels about this fool. So you're gonna end up going to prison for assault. Her ass is still gonna be over there screwing and loving this asshole. So you did the right thing. Kerissa stepped in and was like, let me talk to him. Let me try to talk to her. So Zora gets a bag and throws it in the car and is trying to get in the car. And at the time Charity pulls up and she's trying to figure out what's all the ruckus at the gate. And she's like, is that little boy? And she's trying to talk to Zora like, I'm gonna beat your tail, the whole thing. And I'm just looking at this whole situation like, this is just a mess. And I'm looking at the situation like, well, I don't understand what your guy's trying to do. She's young, and you know that she really doesn't understand in the grand scheme of things, she really doesn't understand the consequences of her actions. To a certain extent, 18, you dumb as shit. Even though you think you got life all figured out, you really don't. I think that they just, no matter what they say, she's already made up her mind that she's gonna go with this guy, and she knows that you guys can't do shit to stop her. So okay. And so May goes to the car. At some point, May goes to the car and she's trying to open the door, and he told her to get her old fat ass or her hands off his car. Some people said, some people just way over the top, right? And so Kerissa walks over and is like, May, let me talk to my daughter. Just let me talk to my daughter. For once, this is not about you. And she tried to give Zora a cell phone because she was like, just in case you need to call me. And Zora was like, well, no, it's because you're trying to bug me, or you're trying to track where I am, and da-da-da-da. And she was like, and Kerissa was like begging her, like, just take the cell phone just in case you need to call me. And they pulled off. She didn't take the phone. And so now Kerissa's standing there with the cell phone, and she's just like, I mean, what's be done? So now she's gone. You guys have no way of getting in contact with her. And it's basically, just gonna be sitting there waiting. I mean, it's sad to say, but you're gonna just be sitting there waiting to get that phone call. So either I just have a feeling, my prediction is that either Zora's gonna come back pregnant. When she does come back, she's gonna come back pregnant. Or, at one point in time, she did have a little drug problem, a little situation. She's gonna come back with a huge drug problem. Or she's gonna end up killing Isaiah. Or she's gonna end up calling. She's gonna go down. She's gonna end up calling home, and she's gonna get her father caught up in this shit. And he's gonna end up killing Isaiah, and it's just gonna be a domino effect. So it's gonna end all bad, just all bad. Okay, so we're over at Percy's house, and the Bishop and Percy are talking about I guess failed relationships, and he was saying, letting the bishop know that if you're having second thoughts about leaving, it's okay. I understand and then he runs down the list of women that he left. And talking about how painful it was and how, the heartache was so much, he couldn't even get out of bed, And the bishop was like, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm just, everything is all good over here. And so we go to the prison. They're letting Coralie out. And so, of course, they're walking through a throng of press. Gigi and Coralie and Rochelle is there also on the other side of the gate. And so she introduces Coralie to Rochelle. They get her in the car to get her home. And Kerissa, back at the Greenleaf estate, Carissa's on the phone talking to Isaiah's parents. They're saying that they haven't seen him. They're not there. That he had been staying there for a couple of weeks, but they don't know where they've gone. And so Kerissa, she decided she's going to go over there. And Jacob was like, well, they just told you that he's not there. Why? What are you doing? And she was like, well, basically, she's my daughter. What do you expect me to do? Just sit here? And he's like, well, I'm going with you. She was like, no, it was all we could do to keep them from pressing charges against you the last time you hit that boy. So let me handle this. And May said something, and she said that I don't want Zora to end up like Faith. And so, of course, Jacob's like, she's upset. She didn't mean it. That was kind of hitting below the belt, Kerissa, like, seriously. And she was, Jacob is obsessed. He made some comment about his cell phone. Like, she was using his cell phone. And he was like, he was going to take her to get another cell phone. She was like, our daughter's missing. You think I'm going cell phone shopping? And so she's about to walk out with his phone. He was like, okay, well, just give me my phone. Because Tasha has been texting him when they was at the gate, but that whole thing was going on with Zora. He got a text from Tasha, and he deleted it. So now he fucked up. Now he knows that at any point in time, a text can come through with Tasha, from Tasha, and then they're gonna have a whole nother goddamn situation. So they're gonna be having a situation with Zora and with Kerissa killing Jacob. Because I can just imagine it's just gonna be too much for her. And so in the end, May decided Jacob would stay at the house, and then she would go with Kerissa so that they can go talk to his parents, try to find out what they know. And so we go to Percy, the funeral home. So Charity is there, and Percy and Bishop is there. And she apologized to Percy for being late. There was just a lot of drama at the house, and Bishop was like, what drama? What happened? She was like, oh, Dad, don't even worry about it. And so, of course, he got upset, like, I'm still your father. What happened? So she ends up telling him. He ends up calling May. May was like, you know what? Me and Kerissa are going to handle it. You don't need to come here. Basically, they don't want the men to get involved. They're going to try to they're trying to handle it, which I think is best, because with all the issues that they're having now, they don't need nobody going to prison, going to jail. And so we're back over at Coralie's house. They're dropping Coralie off, and she was just saying that basically she wanted to see her children. And Gigi was like, well, they're foster care, so I don't think that's going to be, I don't think that's going to be feasible, because, there's a pending case and murder and the whole thing, so I don't really think they're going to allow you to have any contact with the kids. And so Rochelle was like, well, I have a friend over at Family Services, so I'll see what I can do. And Gigi was like, well, who do you know Family Services? She's like, oh, just a friend. And then she walks off. And so Gigi is standing there like, okay. And so May and Kerissa arrives at Isaiah's home. And I don't know what I was expecting to see. But it looks like he grew up in his upper middle class neighborhood, had a nice home from the outside. It's like a nice home, and they're just sitting in the car, because it's like, well, we don't see any, because they don't see any cars out there, so at this point they don't think anybody's home. So Kerissa wanted to sit there and wait for a while, and so she apologized to May for saying what she said about Faith. And May was like, with your children, you always want to feel like you can help them, and you do whatever you can to help them, and sometimes it just isn't enough. And Kerissa was like, I'm not going to give up on Zora or she said, I don't know if she said, I'm not going to let Zora go or something. And Maeve had to be honest with her, like, you may not have a choice. Because at this point, you know, she's only going to come back if she wants to. I mean, that's just, so, you know, what you feel, you do feel bad for Kerissa. There's really nothing anybody can do. This is all on Zora. So, Tasha, so Jacob gets to the church. Tasha is just, I guess she was just sending him a text. And she, he went into her office, and I think she asked him to close the door, and she's like, well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. He was like, that, you know, that kiss was not right, and basically we need to establish some boundaries, because it's not going to go any further than that. And she started to get all emotional. It's like, I can't do nothing right, and nothing ever works for me. And he was like, Tasha, you gotta get a grip, get control of yourself. And she was like, well, I can't. And she was just so dramatic. And he was like, you know, you're sexy and you're wonderful and you're beautiful, but basically, you know, there's nothing can happen between us. And at this point, Bishop walked in, and he was like, oh, am I interrupting something? And Jacob, you know, then way your father didn't believe that lie. Like, he was like, oh yeah, well, she just found out that someone she knows had passed away. And yeah, I was just, you know, we were just sitting here talking, and of course, so he's like, he wanted to talk to Jacob, and they was going to go into Jacob's office, and the bishop was like, gave his condolences, and she was like, oh, okay, thank you, Bishop. And they went on and left. Now, I don't know if Tasha was recording that conversation, or if she's going to eventually give, if she hasn't already given Rochelle that damn paperwork. She is going to find a way to get back at Jacob, and it's his own dumbass fault for just ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. But again, it's gonna be his mess. Same thing as Zora, and what she's about to do with her life is something she's gonna have to live with. The same shit's gonna happen with Jacob. The bullshit that he done got into with Tasha, that's gonna come back to bite him in his ass. And him being so trusting of her, even though she's the wife of the guy you ousted. But I just, whatever. So Rochelle and Gigi get back to Calvary, and she sees that the assistant DA is in her office. So she, you know, goes in to talk to him, and he basically tells her that Coralie's attorney wasn't happy because we worked out a deal, and I guess now she's going to fight it. And he's letting her know that I could have prosecuted you for the murder of your uncle. And she was like, yeah, but it was self-defense. He was like, so you say, you know, but there was a history of you harassing the man, and you know, you, I guess, making accusations against the guy, and the whole thing. And it looks like you seem to not have a problem with women killing men. And so you should be concerned more. You should be more concerned with being tried in the court of public opinion. And also, you know, I could still go back and reopen that case. So he was just basically threatening her, like, get her to take the deal or else. And he walks out. And so of course Rochelle walks in, was like, what did he want? And she was like, nothing important. So I'm like, Gigi, I don't know. See, like I said, I'm still on the fence about the Coralie thing. So I don't know if she's going to be worth all that. Time will tell, like most things. So, yeah, I don't know how he can go back and reopen the case, because if it was closed as self-defense. But with all the stuff that your family's going through, I think that all this shit's going to hit them. It's going to be a mess. So then they're going to have the Zora mess. They're going to have the Tasha and the Jacob mess. And then it's going to be the whole Mac death is going to come back up, rear its ugly head. On top of the tax issues. On top of the divorce. That's a lot. So Gigi and Coralie sitting down with her attorney. And he just can't be bothered. He's like, I got a whole caseload. I have other cases I need to look at. And And basically, the DA is offering this deal. You need to take it. This is your best offer. What you gonna do? And Gigi was like, you really don't have to make a decision right away. And Coralie was like, I need to think about it. He said, well, you have until tomorrow. It's either that or it's gonna be life in prison. And so he's like, I need to go and talk to somebody who's gonna be more appreciative. He was just an asshole. So he got walked out. And after that, Rochelle walks in and she was able to get in contact with her friend at Child Services and set up a time for her to meet with the kids. And so while she's in the office meeting with the kids, Jacob and the Bishop, they're still talking about the situation. And Bishop, he basically was trying to figure out what they need to do and what the next move is going to be. And Jacob was like, there's nothing we can do. She's 18. We can't make her do anything. And any connections that you might have, any friends that you could call, and they can't do anything. Legally, they can't do anything. She's 18. And it's not for you to deal with. And according to my wife, it's not for me to deal with either. And so the bishop was like, maybe your wife was right about you getting involved, because that temper is going to be what undo you. And he's like, I'm still your father. And he said, well, no matter what goes on between me and your mother, I am still your father, and I'm still that girl's grandfather. And when you remember that, you give me a call. And he walked out. And so Jacob's standing there like, okay. So Rochelle and Gigi, they're sitting outside the office while Coralie's in there talking, spending some time with the kids. And Gigi was asking Rochelle about the friend that she has at Child Services that was able to set that up. And they were talking, and I think she asked Gigi something, and Gigi wouldn't answer. And Rochelle was like, after everything that I've done, I've given you the money for this program, and you still don't trust me. And Gigi was like, who is she? She was like, she finished to tell her, it's a girl that I know from Big Sister. She was like, but you're part of it? She's like, yeah. I have 4 girls out in the world, taking the world by storm, and sometimes I hit them up for favors. And she said, Gigi, we're not that different. We see the pain and in the faces of these women and these people, and we want to do what we can to help. And we don't rest until the people that are, I guess, causing the pain and the hurt are brought as low as they can go, and this whole thing. And Gigi was like, that sounds a lot like revenge. And so now Gigi's giving her a side, like, girl, okay, whatever, Rochelle. Then Coralie comes out, and she basically decides she's going to fight. Like, she can't spend 15 years, 20 years in prison from her children. Obviously, by the time she get out, the kids are going to be grown. And she's not really going to know them. So she's now decided she's going to fight. Again, I'm still on the fence about this Coralie thing. I don't know. I get the feeling that there's more to the story. And it's going to be all bad for Gigi. So, yeah. Kerissa and Zora. So Isaiah, they go back to his parents' house. So the car pulls up. Isaiah goes in the house, and Kerissa decides to go over to the car because Zora stayed in the car. She went over to talk to her, and of course Zora was like, just leave me alone, and I don't want to talk to you. And she, said, just give me 1 minute. She's trying to plead with her, and she started talking about the day that she was born and all the hopes and expectations she had, and all the hopes and expectations she saw in Zora's eyes, and how she did everything she could to give her every possibility in the world to make all her dreams come true, and how she wanted her to be able to travel and see the world. And Zora was like, I already have everything that I want, and I don't understand why you guys don't see this. She said, what do you have? You have a guy that beats you. So it's like, what do you have? She said, Zora, this is it. And she had to draw the line, like, this is it. You can get out of this car with me right now, because anything after this is going to be on you, and it's going to be your bad result of your bad decisions. It's going to be up on you and God. And God is a lot stronger than I am. And Zora, obviously, she decided to stay in the car. She decided to stay with with Isaiah, and Kerissa had to turn and walk away, and she, you know, it wasn't easy, but she did, and Zora, you know, she put the window back up and she started crying because she knew that I mean, she know that her parents are going to be there for her, but at this point they can't chase. They're not going to chase you all over the world. Like, they've done all they can do, and like she said, now any decision you make after this is on you, and you can't turn around and blame anybody. So Bishop goes to the house and realized that Maiden changed the code on the gate, so he had to call for the security guard. When the security guard came out, he looked at him like, "Oh, sorry, bruh." He's like, "Man, really?" So he ended up calling him to the house, I guess, to get the okay for him to come in. So he got in the house and he went up to May and said, "Oh, so you changed the code on the gate?" She's like, "What do you want, bro? What do you want, James?" And he just basically was telling her that, "Why didn't you dial me in? You know, she's my granddaughter, and I probably could have gotten her back." And da 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 da. And I'm like, "You really think very highly of yourself." I'm like, "That girl, no, you could not have. She just no. There was nothing you could have said or nothing you could have done to make Zora see sense, because that's not where she is mentally." So he's like, "Well, I'm just saying, why didn't you just keep me up to date?" She's like, "You know what, James? Maybe it's because it's always been on me. I'm, you know, keeping the kids together and keeping the house running. I'm the bottle washer and the whole thing. I'm sorry I didn't come to you with the status report." And so he stood there for a minute. She was like, "If you had just been patient with me before he went filing papers, then we could have had some type of reconciliation, and you could be here and we could be here together. And then you went off and gave my money to that, what she call her, something in saggy pantyhose. You gave all my money to that woman." And he was like, "It's your job to make sure the children remember that I'm their father." She said, "They know that they know that you're their father, but they also know that we failed them." And she said, "Yes, I share in the blame." And he said, they think of us as no more than stars. You know, this whole thing, stars that have faded and da 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 da. And he's like, "Well, you can comfort yourself with that poetry." But she's like, "You know, I know that you not being in is an issue for you not being in this house, and you have my sympathies." He said, "Well, yeah, that makes up for it." She's like, "Sympathy is not something that it's not a currency that can be exchanged. It's a feeling." And he walked out, and yeah, that was basically all they had to say to each other at that point. So Jacob goes into Tasha's office to apologize again for the way he spoke to her, and she's packing up a little box, and he was basically explaining to her, like, you know, it wasn't about her. He's just upset about Zora, and he's worried about her and the whole da 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 da. And she said, "Well, thank you for saying that." And so then she's about to walk out and got a little box, and she was like, "What you doing?" He thought she was just leaving for the day. No, she had a little box packed up, and she's like, "I'm leaving." She said, "Well, I stayed because, you know, I liked you, and now I like you even more, and, you know, you're married, and I'm still married to Basie, no matter where he is or isn't." I'm like, what you talking here? So, and, you know, I just need to go. And then she turned to him before she left and said, "I'm just sorry." And he said, "For what?" She's like, "For everything." So the shit about to hit the fan with Jacob. And she walked on out. So Charity and Percy. So Charity, you know, it was a funeral today, and she was consoling the widow. And Percy just looked on and saw that she has a gift and she cares about people, and she has a gift for it. And so as she was about to leave for the day, he offered her a job. He basically said that, "I'm not going to be around forever, and you don't want to know if you would be considered taking over for me." He's like, "You have, you know, the gift. Not everybody can do this. And it just seems to come so natural to you." And so she basically told him that, you know, she was flattered. It was flattered to be seen and to be noticed and to be valued. But, you know, she enjoys, you know, being there. But she's not strong enough yet emotionally, I guess, and mentally, and she's not where she can do that every day. And she thanked him, and he gave her a little check, and she went on her way. So, what are you up to, Percy? Is he sick? Because he was like, I'm not going to be around forever. The way he said that made you think that something is wrong with him, but I don't know. Okay, so Jacob gets home, and Kerissa's on the couch. She's looking through the photo albums of what's looking at, flipping through photos of Zora. And he came in and he sat down and asked her why, so what happened? And she just looked at him and was like, she's gone. Our daughter's gone. And he went in to console her, and she just pulled away and got up and walked off. And Sophia, Gigi gets home, and Sophia tells her that she doesn't want to go to Rhodes. And she was like, but you're going to college. And she said, well, Zora didn't go to college. She said, you're not Zora. And like, well, Zora's 18. She went, well, I'm going to be 18 soon. And Gigi's like, I just can't do this right now. But, and she said she didn't want to go to a Christian school because she didn't want to. That's not where she is. And Gigi was like, just, okay, no, duly noted. And so Zora went back to her room. And Bishop, he was sitting out, I guess, on the deck of, still at Percy's. And he started talking to Percy, and he was like, you haven't, that's a lot of no sleeping, because he said, the Bishop kept saying that he just hasn't been sleeping well. And Percy was like, that's a lot of no sleeping for somebody with no second thoughts. And he was like, there are 3 people, I guess he said there's 4 people with foresight who's able to see the truck before it hits him. There's people with hindsight who the best they can do is get the license plate after the truck runs them over. And then there's people with neither. At least you have one, which is, I guess, which I don't know if he was, he didn't specify which one. I don't know what, the hindsight, I guess. Is he trying to say Bishop ass? But, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So the Bishop is just, it ended with him just sitting on the deck and praying. Percy walked off back in the house, and he just sat there and he prayed, hoping that the right choice, the right answer, something will be shown to him to fix everything. So yeah, that's pretty much how this episode ended. So I'm gonna end this here, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.